start Masamune. Alright. Well, this is the last match of Open Round 1. We have Tirasu, Sedon, Mumuni, and that is not Michael Lopez, I should place that. And look at my holographic job. That's better. So it's that. Weird. There we go. I don't know why you guys always ask for world maps. That should be good. That should be good. Okay. So no key item start. That's a little bit of a bummer. Kane Yang is pretty nice. Yang is kind of booty in the beginning because he doesn't really get a whole lot of offense whatsoever. Whereas Kane, provided we find a weapon that is not spear, will do a pretty good job of carrying through. We do see checks for the demist spot, hoping to find early demist. That will give a key item. However, seeing a freebie there is also kind of a bummer, because it means it's not going to. It's a spot you're not going to actually take on. So, you know, you want to see the hard bosses there. You'd love to see like a Golbez or Val, or I mean, if it's not going to be demons. So you see a pretty good amount of looting, hoping really just to find a Kane weapon. Ogre Axe would be fantastic. Blizzard Spear, Flame Spear would be good. Ice Brand would be solid. Something like that. Tirasu heading right into Antlion Cave. Not gonna check Mount Hobbs. Sometimes if you have a character, if you have like two characters that are not terribly good, you hope to get what I like to call the character bailout. Check Hobbs in case Sid or Kane or someone happens to be there that can carry you through the fight. But finding a Kane weapon, that's not entirely necessary. Antlion's spot only has about 800 HP, so even just finding a J item or two would be plenty. I should start the timer. I'm gonna fix that right now. Let's see. I'm new at this. It's under edit splits, right? Yeah, we'll start timer at 4:30. Hey, there we go. Alright, well, so Moo Money and Sedon are gonna check, Mumuni are gonna check Mount Hobbs. Luge, it's a pretty doable fight here. Not too much to worry about. Tella up there is nice to find early game. They're all gonna save probably about 45 seconds on Tirasu's Antlion by virtue of simply having exit. Will also help if you decide to loot a couple places, like, although we did see Miss loot already. If you want to take on Troy Castle, we'll save a good 20 seconds there. from having exit. So Tella, super awesome to find early. I think it's just super awesome. Other nice thing is if you find a darkness crystal, you can do Mount Ordeals. You will have a source of the weak spell that gives you access to the D machine grind and can get your party really strong really fast. Now, Evil Walt and the boss at Antlion Cave. This is an excellent fight to see here. Only 800 HP. Tirasu clearly has a good cane weapon, so not a problem. Let's see what we get. Oh boy, well, you know what they say, it wouldn't be a HOPEN seed if it wasn't a hook seed. Sure enough, Antlion Cave has the hook. Let's write that down. That's going to make choosing to do Ordeals to get Tella spell, should we pick up Tella, and I imagine everyone will, even more alluring at this point. Hoping to find even just a Magma Key and not having to do the hook, but this is a HOPEN seed, so it's probably going to be a moon boss. Alright, see Mumuni gets to the second fight of Dr. Luge. There's a weakness to lightning here if you choose to exploit it. No big deal. We got some Tella. Unfortunately, since they're poison, means we're going to get to see the hottest dance step in the underground, the poison step. Oh boy. I have been told by reliable sources that this does not actually slow your character down whatsoever. So you'll see people decide to leave the poison on, as opposed to taking the time to menu and casting heal. Of course, as I say that, oh, never mind. One nice thing about finding Tella here, because you have exit, you can choose to loot the back of Hobbs and not really lose a whole lot of time. Ooh, he's gonna head straight to Kabul. Might be want to get some shopping here, looking for claws for Yang, and ice claws. Excellent, should be fine Rootkit. I don't think he's gonna need the wind spear. Tirasu taking on Matt Hobbs. Having done Antlion Cave, he's got a little bit more levels. Sedon's Hobbs is done. Let's see if he decides to loot the back of Hobbs. Looks like it. Nope, just the first test. Oh. Fake me out. Tirasu through the Dr. Luge fight. Looks like Mumuni is gonna go ahead and take on the full bullfight with this party. Shouldn't present too much of an issue unless we come across some of our more popular bosses like Wyvern or something like that. Now, because we have already found Hook, Magma Key can still be up here, but is no longer guarded by safety checks. So if we see a Golbez or Val, that could be where the Magma Key is. We see Dark Elf, not a problem with this fight. Its biggest issue would be, well, these elemental spells, but it's not going to do that much damage. We'll cast Weak on one of your party members, and then repeat the script 2 steps later after casting Pig. So even though the elements don't do that much damage, when you've had Weak cast on you, it will finish off that character. And is Tella going to get the fight with a cure in? That's going to be kind of the... That's where this can come in. Yeah, so you can see how that's happening. If he's a lot faster than some of your party member, at least the one who's deciding to cure, that Weak will eventually take out a character. Now, Yang at this level isn't doing that much damage. So, Yang going down, not too big a deal. It does trigger the Me Change. This also removes the boss bit, so should Mumuni have an hourglass, you can stop it and basically end this fight. If you don't have it, thing is going to alternate between a physical attack and a deep-breath. And deep-breath, at this stage, nothing to sneeze at. Tirasu also heading in, gets the same character pig. Gonna be able to get a cure on... And we were pointing out, that's one of the stock spells that Tela does have in the absence of having an hourglass is stop, and while it is much does not last nearly as long, it can buy you enough time to get the fight done. And we find out that is required. Sword get. The legend sword is in Fabul. That is one more step to go mode. We're looking for that and the adamant. That allows us to forge a crystal. And then you just need a way to get to Zeranos, which would be either the pass or the darkness crystal. Simu Mooney is probably going to loot the rest of Fabul, decide whether or not you want to knock out your shopping now or head straight to the Antlion Cave, either or. Sedon finishes Antlion Cave and we'll probably retrace the step heading to Fabul. Tirasu with a little bit of an issue. You can see that deep breath. That hurts. Oh, he gets that hourglass off, he's fine. Now it's going to see whether or not he queued up deep breath yet. If he didn't, the fight's over. Perfect. Alright, so he's good. A little bit of a close call, but Tirasu now will have his legend sword. The next divergence we'll probably see is going to be whether or not the runners decide to maybe check hook early to get the character. Although finding Kane you may feel like Kane's gonna just carry you throughout everything else that's in the overworld. Whether or not you choose to do Ordeals, I would imagine on a hook seed, that's probably going to happen. And then at what point you decide to take on the Baron in-boss. Baron in-boss can be kind of rough, as my chair squeaks in the background. Oh my goodness, I left my messenger open. What a silly person I am. Alright, that's taken care of. You can see a little bit of overlap here. We'll hop in. It is a wicked stay. That channel, there we go. Yeah, I'm kind of silly like that. Alright, so Lulu is going to be pretty hot this evil wall here. No issue with the current party's setting, the current party he's got. Tirasu is probably going to be the first person who completed Fabul and Antlion Cave, so let's see what the next step is. Likely shopping for a little bit. This is usually the supermarket sweep portion. I love that game so by the way. Anything juicy in the bushes. A crystal helmet in the bushes. Man, I wish I found that in my lawn. Tents are nice. Sedon wrapping up Fabul will probably be the second contestant on Supermarket Suite. Mooney wrapping up Antlion Cave is likely to do the same. Oh, having seen the hook. So this one is, yes, this is Forge of Crystal, so we are looking for Legend Sword and Adamant in order to get the crystal. One of the things in your early game routine is whether or not you decide to actually get the hovercraft every time. I used to not do it because I felt like I was wasting 45 seconds if I didn't end up needing the hook. Having seen the hook now, obviously that's going to be a play, but I kind of feel like in this particular game mode, especially on the HOPEN, where there are hook seeds growing on trees and we are all eating from them, getting the hovercraft first is kind of nice. So Mooney is going to give us our source of information here, which is who the character is, which would be nice, but more importantly, who is the boss. Now, one nice thing you can do here that I kind of picked up from, I don't even remember who it was I picked up from, but if you save just outside the Avalon Cave and you loot the first 3 chests, if it happens to have the Staleman, you reset. You've only lost about 10 seconds, and now you know where the trap chest is, so you can loot the entirety of Avalon Cave. In the early game, when you're doing a check like this, having all that gear that could give you that cursed ring that you need, it can be a big deal. So if you ever checking out Avalon Cave, that's a handy little trick. What he's gonna say, he might actually decide to do some of them. And okay, Mooney is finding out, and Tirasu are finding out some very critical information here. First of all, Fuso, yeah, we got ourselves a Fu. Fu, in my humble opinion, is the best character in the game for this flag set. Gonna gain every spell in the book, provided that you just take on bosses. The other bit of information that we find out is that the Ruby spot is free. It's Dark Elves. Dark Imps. 3 Dark Elves would be kind of annoying. You can hourglass them, and then they stay frozen, and that's that. So now, it doesn't mean the hook fight is going to be completely free. The King Queen Avalon spot has been known to give us considerable amounts of rudeness if you find the wrong spot, but no, the Ruby spot is usually the source of issue, and now that we found a Fu, not going to be a problem here. Now, we still might see an Ordeals play just because Fu gets spells as you defeat bosses, and Ordeals gives you 3 of them. Well, that'll power up Fu quite a bit. Sedon is going to go ahead and take on the Stillman fight, and to do a lot of damage for this early in the game, but if you get the hourglass off, it'll be fine. I did see an ice claw in one of the stories, and Stillman do have a weakness to ice. Otherwise, this will be a little timely, but one nice thing about deciding to loot this is that, hey, you can loot the rest of Avalon Cave without any fear of getting jumped, but also, this any trap chest goes in from the T4 pool as well, so you have a chance of getting a superlative item other than the Adamant Arc, which is the no Adamant's flag will prevent that. So finding something like a White Spear or Dragoon Spear or a Pow Pow Power Shirt would be amazing. Mooney is finding our good friend Val, I believe, at the Baron Inn fight. Not too big of a problem since we have Kane. And it looks like it used the regen command on Fu. Regen command sounds pretty good because, hey, you're getting hit points, and regen in some Final Fantasy games is pretty awesome. But it also ties up Fu's turn for pretty much the remainder of the battle. Unless he dies and then you res him. So, unless, like, you didn't have any spells whatsoever, regen's not... Oh no, never mind, I'm a filthy liar. He just got it back. But while he's regenning, you can see he had like 3 or 4 ticks, and then Fu didn't really get a chance to do anything. Tirasu is going to head up Ordeals, as opposed to doing Baron Inn. I like the idea of getting Fu as powerful as you can. You'd like to see Nuke going into, or have Fu equipped with Nuke by the time you go into that King Queen Avalon fight, because then you can get that done really fast. The second boss is Kinazo. It's an Elements party at Baron Inn, and Milan wasn't invited. This is a pretty nice boss to find here, although it can still be dicey. You see the physical attack is no joke, and well over 400 damage. Then you will gather the water and then cast Wave, which is based on his HP. Now, this spot only has about 4,000, so it's not going to do too much damage, and we have plenty of HP to go around. But if you decide to use a lit item while he's got the water up, it will expose a weakness, and he will lose the water and no longer cast Wave. And since this spot is one of the slowest spots, you never have to worry about, hey, I scared him, but he still decided to throw a wave on me. Which, if you've ever done Knazo at Elements, you are very familiar with that. So, Mooney getting Baron in. Done. Well done. And it is the package. So, early package, I like to at least check, in case you get, like, well, basically, Foo. But since we found a Foo, I'm not sure if we see that getting checked. But you never know. Like, 2 Foos are better than 1. But more importantly, it's not the Magma Key. That's the one thing our runners would really like to find. Sure, we know that spot's free, sure we have a Foo, but the difference between even a free hook fight is still about 9 to 10 minutes. Tirasu is taking on the CPU. CPU is kind of annoying in that it's back row, so all your melee attackers are going to have to use some other means to do full damage on it. It casts Wall on itself in perpetuity, so it's always going to be up. So anything like Lit 2 or Virus, since we probably don't have Quake on Foo, it's not necessarily going to work. And then finally, when the attacker and defender both go down, it hits you with Globe 199, which is almost certainly, other than the most lowest of magic spots, going to take you out. You might think, okay, well I can just res them. Well, the attacker is usually the one you keep up, because the defender is going to heal the CPU for 10% of its max HP every turn. But because it's casting Mazer, which is 10% of your health, you go to res that party up, and then you get Mazered by the time you get a chance to get a heal on them, and ouch. So the CPU fight might take a little while. Kane's jump is going to come in handy here because that will ignore any row issues. And we're looking to do, if you ever want to see how much HP the CPU has, when the defender casts Remedy, it's going to be 10%. So just take that number times 10. So we see it's 2310 to take out the CPU. Thanks, defender. Now, Sedon is going to give us another example of what an enjoyable experience Globe 199 can be. Here's to getting it done. Mooney is going to join them on Ordeals. We all want a powered up Foo. Also have a powered up Tella, for that matter. Which, finding Foo kind of makes Tella a little redundant for anything other than being an anchor. You could basically consider Foo to be good Tella. But Foo's the main reason we're deciding to dive Ordeals, just in case, and also in case we find an X-Dom Assassin. Second boss is the Palest of Dims. It's going to only do physical attack unless you decide to cast a summon on it. We don't have Iridia, so that's not going to be a problem. It does absorb every element, like, it does absorb fire, ice, and lightning. So a lot of the better weapons you find in a T3 spot is going to be fire and ice, so Yang, especially if he's rocking a fire and ice claw, is only going to tickle him. It is also going to counter every physical attack with slow, which if you're using Berserk, and I don't think we're going to, you get to see about 20 slow animations. It's always enjoyable. Now, it looks like Tirasu's Cane is rocking a Rune Axe, so that's not too big of a deal. But it does have 3,000 HP, and you see that he's only doing about 171, so we've got a couple slow fights. up on Ordeals. Sometimes with too slow fights like this, you might see people get a little nervous because you're like, well, what if somebody decided to just straight up go into the hook? I don't think, if I was running the seed, I would expect anybody to do that, given that King Queen Eblon spot is kind of booty, and the foo spells that we've seen so far are not great. Now, we did get Fire 3 from Baron in, so, you know, maybe that can carry through King Queen Eblon, but, I mean, if you end up with something like Rubicon there, yeah. That being said, slow boss fights can always trigger a runner. I know it does for me sometimes. Alright, so Tirasu is the first one to get the second fight down, so he's got a little bit of lead here. Yeah, if the last boss was Gauntlet, that would... What'd you consider? Well, we didn't see a save in between. We are seeing one from Sedon. Did you consider a reset of a Gauntlet? Alright, well, it's a life staff, otherwise what we like to call a stat stick. And oh, Zilch, are you a okay, it's just the water hag, the true king of the seas. I was getting ready to pop off. So free fight here, attack it 3 times and it's done. You can try to get it out of HP without getting the 3 hits down, but that requires like an absurd amount of HP, so just hit it, whack it 3 times. The amount of deal's done. You'll probably see our runners decide, unless we find Nuke early, and even if you do, sometimes you just want a crew to have that extra HP. Take out the Demist spot and the Octomom spot just to get the 2 extra sets of spells and the 200 HP. But failing that, we have a required hook seed unless somebody is going to dare check the Maga Sister spot. Which I don't think we're going to see. Now, Tirasu also has Baron in left to do. You can see Mumuni has 2 Yangs, which, when League Seeds first came out, I swear every League Seed required multiple Yangs. Unfortunately, base Yang with any of the Fire Claw is not going to do that much damage. Oh, Guide, I see he's got a Guide Drum. That's going to get a good chunk out. Sedon is past Peldim, is now going to get his stat stick and see the Water Hag. Looks like Tirasu is heading to Baron Inn. And then we'll want to keep an eye on what the spells look like by the time that's done. Although Mumuni may give us a better preview. Sorry. Alright, we're seeing a little bit of overlap. You might see some shopping that's still left over to do. Illusions would be the one thing you'd really want to see, because the real worry about the King Queen Eblon spot is its physical attack. Alright, Moon is on his third fight. Sedon is now leaving Mount Ordeals. And I think, yeah, Sedon still has to do Baroness. He's probably going to follow Tirasu in. Yeah, my parakeet cannot get enough of Final Fantasy IV music. And I don't have a very good filter right now, so unfortunately you'll hear them quite a bit, especially as the boss music kicks up. Alright, looks like Sedon's wrapping up some shopping. Tirasu has finished the Baronade. Probably head to, well, either head to the moon or do the Demas spot. We'll see. Did I say head to the moon? Head to Hook. Alright, so Tirasu is the first runner to attempt the Hook Dive. Let's see how this goes. A lot of physical attack, but we also have a Fu, and that Fu is going to carry. We don't see any looting. I agree with that on Tirasu's end. Don't really need that much, you know, finding catclaws or something like that, or Zeus gauntlets would be amazing, but probably not worth the time sink of accidentally running into the Snowman fight. And especially if you know that spot's free, the Ruby spot's free. We'll see if Tirasu decides to even take on the Mad Ogre fight. If you're expecting Fu to carry, it looks like he is. If you're expecting Fu to carry, you might save like 3 to 4 minutes by just eschewing that fight altogether. Moon is also wrapping up his shopping. Will probably be the second person down. We'll see. Oh, silk gloves are a nice find. And did get up a bunch of coffins. So by the time Moon hits underground, should he find sirens, that's going to be super useful. He's going to be able to quickly knock out a few eggs and get the party quite a bit of levels. Runner number 2. Oh, and does it look like the Mad Ogre fight is the last chest? That's always annoying. There it is. And you're saved at that. Get this. Save again. Lots of fun. Now, Tirasu also bought quite a bit of coffins, so you might actually just, if lacking an Ogre Axe, no, I did see a Rune Axe. If he's still rocking the Rune Axe, that might be faster. Okay, he's gonna use coffins. No argument here. Use them while you got them. Oh, who's burning down this village? Is that a Magus sister, or is that Sheila? Sheila! She's very pro-Kabul, just not like any other kingdoms, apparently. He's gonna get a white mage, and okay, he's gonna reset out of that. Sedon was probably considering, is it worth having a white mage not named Rosa in the party at this point in time, especially when you have a Fu? And I think the right call is to pass that up. And Sedon will be runner number 3 to head into Cave Eblon. Tirasu wrapped up the Ogre fight, left Tella on the floor, and a Protecting's kinda nice to have. Gonna give Fu even better defense. And you likely see Tella move to the middle spot because both of these spots are quite fast, and if you put Tella in the middle spot with how agility anchoring works, because the maximum speed that anyone can have is it goes lower the faster you are, so everybody can have a maximum speed of 1. Putting a super slow character in there, yes, that makes the boss 1, but it also makes your other party members that are based off of that anchor's agility 1 as well. So while it can make things go kind of fast because everybody's taking turns all together, it's going to eventually, especially if you lower the battle speed, will give you more turns. And in this spot, the first King Queen Avalon spot, you'll see it's a physical spot. It's going to one-hit KO, and we have a bonus round. Oh, this seed is something else already. So, let's go over what this means. First of all, not a terrible boss to see here because he's going to turn into mist and he's going to give us plenty of time to heal back up. And yes, my bird is pretty happy about Demus showing up too. But turning in Demus means you can decide to leave, head back to Village Mist, and Radius Mob is going to give you an item. If that has the Magma Key, that would be pretty trolly. However, I don't think you're going to see any runners check that before doing the Ruby spot because we know the Ruby spot is free. If this was like a hook moon boss, then you might see someone decide to warp and exit out and check it. Having a free fight second, I think it's fast, especially with all the coffins that we've seen both Tirasu and Sedon pick up. They're just going to go right in. Unfortunately, not a terribly high amount of HP here, around 6,000. So, Tirasu gets it done. Going to head immediately to the Dark Imps. You will get a free heal. Is going to save, or is not going to save. Good call. Head right in. Only possible issue would be if they were one-hit KOing your entire team. If they were super smart about their turn order, then maybe they could take out whoever is doing the hourglass, but chances of that are pretty low, especially with Fu in there, so. Chat pointing out one of the fun little aspects about Demus, it does have a resistance to Holy. So, attempting to cast Meteo, which counts as holy magic, results in it healing Demus, which is kind of the opposite effect you want to have when casting Meteo. Instead of a full death, it's a full heal. Oh, well, that's a bummer. And you see Tirasu using coffins now. You can exploit the life glitch here, as Tirasu did, and with the Dark Imps you're going to get almost 200% XP here, so you can see 41k, that's super nice. And at 3910, Tirasu is the first runner underground, which I would write down if my pen wanted to work. Alright, and while I wasn't looking, I didn't see what the boss was. Now, anytime you're through that boss on a hook seed in under 40 minutes, that is some solid work. So, all 3 runners are actually going to make pretty good time. Zilch, thanks for pointing out that the boss in here is, you can, if you go a little bit to the right on the first floor after the booby trap, you can see who the boss in the top of tower is. Now, we don't have the tower key, but King Queen Avalon is the boss there. That's a completely free fight that you can just put the controller down. It may be tempting, especially given that we haven't really seen a lot of underground key items, to just go right back in, save if it happens to have something great. If it doesn't, you can reset out. especially since we're one key item away. We've already found the Legend Sword. That might be a check that our runners decide to do. Let's see. Nope, Tirasu is going to validate the run. It looked like some kind of agricultural manager. Paranoia, it is a HOPEN seed, so as you can see, everybody's doing the hook. But it was a free fight, so nothing terribly bad. Demist was at the King Queen Evelyn spot. I'm kind of hoping for a check relatively soon so we can see if it was the Magma Key, which would be hilarious. Sorry, Nick. I mean, I think Dark Imps are pretty good for everybody. Well, I'd love to see Dark Imps there. It's both an experience boon, and you can use coffins on it and hourglasses. It's just a party all around. Alright, Tirasu is gonna do some looting around here. And we'll see when and if the looting decides to stop. I know, for me personally, this is usually when I decide to say, okay, that's kind of enough. But, I mean, at this point, we also, some of the more expensive items are still on the board, and it's less about finding something that your party's going to use, and more about being able to get that 50k for Buckeye. Now, you see the Baron Key at the Feymark spot. Kind of a time-expensive check. We'll get 2 bosses for Fu, but it is another spot to go. And Moody and Sedon are almost neck and neck. Probably around, let me see, it was 39:10, so they're right around 3 minutes behind Tirasu going underground. Alright, Tirasu is going to give us a look at the summon bosses. It is a free fight at Asura, and that is either Rubicant or Elements at Leviathan. You will almost certainly see Tirasu decide to take on whichever guards those happens to be. He's got hourglasses, so it can be a little dicey sometimes because of how fast that spot is, and the physical is, no joke. So again, if they decide to get self-aware and they attack the person who is always using the hourglass, which happens, that would be kind of a bummer. Elements fight is one of the better ones to find here. When it's Milon, then yeah, he's gonna one-hit KO your party. So if you have illusions up and you get a Star Veil, you can bounce Fire 3s. You will prevent the changeover to the next element. And since you've got a weakness on it, and I know we've got Fire 3, that could be a way to get that done. Sedon is going to go ahead and take on Dwarf Castle, something randomly distributed, something Vanilla Dolls. If Fu has Quake, this will be over in a flash. But I'm not sure if we learned that yet. Alright, now you can hopefully we see an Hourglass come out of Sedon soon, although an Ice 3 gone around may actually get the job done. Mumuni is going to follow Tirasu into taking on the Asura spot. Well, we know Hook was required. And it wasn't Demist holding onto the Magma Key at the King Queen Evelyn spot. It is a key item, so anytime you get closer to 10, all the better. But otherwise, that doesn't terribly help us out that much. Dia pointing out one of the nicer things about this fight is that you technically don't need an hourglass. If you can get a coffin off on the officer, the soldiers lacking the officer's exemplary leadership will decide to attack each other in complete disarray. And if you don't want the experience, you just want the fight to be over, the soldiers have very low HP relative to the HP pool there. So sometimes, if you don't use an hourglass, you can get them to retreat, and it's a lot less damage you have to do. But we got coffins, so that's not that big of a deal. Let's see if Tirasu sets up some reflex traps, or just decides to go all the way through. Looks like you can go reflecting. It's the physical in this is gonna hurt. Does he have fire 3? I thought we had fire. Yeah, there's fire 3. Sedon finding one of the trickier fights in D Lunar. Fortunately, they have pretty low HP. And we did find a Cecil as the character there. Yeah, buddy. X-Cal is guaranteed to be one of the key items. That in and of itself is almost a reason to keep Cecil. Looks like well done utilizing a lift bolt and a Gaia drum to get at least one of the D Lunars down. The reason you're not seeing him use any kind of physical attack is that will trigger reflect and spamming lots and lots of viri at you. And they hurt. Now, in this spot, the magic is actually really low, where you'd probably see characters survive it, but why even take the chance? So Sedon gets Dwarf Castle done. Moon is not going to try elements, is going to do Sheila 1 first. You'll see some people like to wait for the pans sometimes before doing that. But at the same time, it is, one key item at the cost of no boss fight and about 1:40. Sometimes, especially since we haven't really seen that much, or at least Mooney hasn't seen that much progression yet, as far as places to go, I understand this. And let's see what we get from Dwarf Castle. It's Pinktail. Well, if you want a guaranteed T4 item, you can turn in that Pinktail. It will not give you an adamant because we have no adamants on. Is a key item again, so it's one step closer to 10. And getting Cecil may pay off in the long run. Did not see what Tirasu got at Leviathan. If we see him forge, we'll know he's the adamant. Okay. Earth Crystal Leviathan, thank you very much. So that Feymarsh does give us some places to go. Leviathan, Earth, and Sheila gave us the Sand Ruby, which is Rydia's mom gave us the Sand Ruby. So Moon is going to turn in that Sand Ruby, get a free character, is going to be Kane number 2, and says, nah, I don't even want Kane number 2. I might. It's a toss-up whether or not you decide you want Kane or Yang. Kane has better T4 weapons to where he can be a little more useful than Yang. But Yang is guaranteed endgame damage, provided you get there. And you can see we've got quite a bit of levels already. Moon is going to show us what Sheila 1 is. It's a defense sword, which is a fantastic weapon for Kane. Gonna equip that right away. Might actually have more straight up attack power than the Dragoon Spear and the White Spear. It's close. And chat pointing out the spells that Tirasu just got or Quake and Nuke, and those are too big. Quake, Nuke, and White. No, but those are 3 spells that are kind of decent. And you will see Quake utilized right here, right now. Or maybe Fire 3. I think 1 Quake will get the job done at this HP total. We're going to see a little bit of overlap here as Sedon is now making the trip to Feymarch. That defense sword, should Sedon decide to, and Tirasu for that matter, do Sheila 1, also be a good weapon for Cecil. I don't think we've seen that much in the way of weapons for him. Mumuni looking to leverage that Baron key. He's going to be the first person to check that out, so we could find a Darkness Crystal. Should be coming up relatively soon. We're not out of checks on Earth, but we're getting there. And we will see him save. I always agree with saving here because you never know when that second Baron spot, you think, oh, I've got a fantastic party. There's nothing in there that's going to kill me. And then you see a sparkle on the throne. You're like, oh no. Please not Wyvern. Please not Wyvern. And then it's Wyvern. We had a Gauntlet / Wyvern Baron earlier this week. That was super fun. Nobody has turned into Pinktail yet. With a Kane and a Cecil, it might be worth the time to check, I think. Asura is the first boss here, and there's a Runax out there. But at this HP total, any level 3 spell is going to get the job done. Or even a Zerk for that matter. Tirasu going to get his Sand Ruby. Might check Hypo since he's also in the area. Yeah, Sand Ruby is Kane. It is Kane number 2, so multiple Kane seed, Nit seed confirmed. Sedon taking advantage of being in battle. And equipping Slumber Sword, hoping to trigger a Sleepy counter, which would be kind of nice. Mumuni, no problem with the Sura. Let us see who is attempting to usurp the Baron for. Oh, it's the Sparkle. Oh no, don't tell me I called it. Oh, please no. Ow! Oh no! Let's see if he gets the Silk Weapon time. It's kind of slow. Okay. Okay, we're fine. We're fine. We're fine. Oh, I'm sorry, runners. Oh, he didn't get the Silk Weapon. Oh, no. I thought he was using a Starman. Oh. Bluebear pointing out that has been a disturbing trend in... Oh, use a Silk Web. Okay. That would explain why. There's been a disturbing amount of Wyverns being found in Baron Castle. Now, if you do manage to get the Starveil off, one of those should do the trick. I know magic defense in the Baron King spot is a lot higher than you expect it to be. So it wouldn't be a Hopen Seed without some kind of tomfoolery, and sure enough, Wyvern is providing us all with some solid entertainment. Doubly annoying that you gotta do the Asura fight twice, which can be kind of rude. Moon's like, nah, it's not rude, what you talking about, I got this done in a minute. And it might actually be going back to save. Yeah. Yeah, I understand. Yes. It's 20 seconds that will save you a minute and a half if you end. Oh, is it take a nap in Cecil's bed? You can actually go up to Cecil's bed, and despite having 5 party members, your entire team will take a nap. Interesting. But if we still have a Tell here, if you get Tell in the middle spot, you've got a Cane. Oh, we don't have a Tell anymore. Okay, let's see. I mean, Cane was able to get a command off last time. Okay, I think we're good. Tirasu doing that on reaction, so well done. And yeah, 8k, that's more than enough. Tirasu's like, why did you try to do that to me? Sedon is going to make the play we had discussed earlier, which is take advantage of that super free fight at the top of the tower. Finding a forum, he might decide to take out one of the gangs. For Rosa, for sure. Porum is kind of dicey, but Tirasu is a Porum fan. Let's see if Mumuni can get Wyvern done on try number 2. Oh, don't jump. Oh, he's going to try to get wall off in time. It's going to be close. There is a cast time. Alright, you got it. Very good. And showing the power of having a Tele anchor. That takes care of that. Mumuni may not have even had Star Rails at this point. Tirasu's going to show us what is in the Baron trash can. It is a tower key. Alright, Baron tower. So this could actually end up hurting Sedon quite a bit if that tower key pays off. Because he's doing keyless tower, usually when you do keyless tower you kind of commit to not doing the tower key even if you get it. So that could be dicey because now that Tirasu and then Mumuni is subsequently obtaining the tower key, if they decide to check the Odin spot, which is what Tirasu is doing right now, tower key is probably the next thing on their plate. So let's see. Now Sedon is going to try to take out the King Queen Evelyn before they decide to get sad and disappear. It'll be close. Well, not with food with no magic. This spot has about 22k HP, so you're probably looking at about 11 and 10k per. So like a few quakes to get the job done. And if we had superlative weapons, maybe. I think it might be faster to just throw a slow anchor in the middle and just let them get sad and leave on their own. Now we see Plague at Odin. This is not a bad fight to find here. If you can manipulate your agility to the point where you have someone who has relative agility 1, which I guess the easiest way to accomplish that would be if somebody's agility is 2.5 times that of the anchor, and you cast a berserk on them, the count will never hit. That's usually, especially since you've got a bow and arrow. Now that can be timely if you don't have an excellent weapon, but I see he looks like he's got Cecil Zerked. Now the alternative, and the more common method, is to simply kill off one of your characters and then res them, and then good old Plague will see, hey, there's somebody who doesn't have count on them. That's the only thing I'm gonna do. So that will reset the counter on your entire team. And having nuke on food, that's probably the more efficient play. We don't even need a second count. And Tirasu finds the spoon. No spoon flags, so all that really function is a dart for Edge, who we haven't even seen yet. So Tirasu's deciding to reset out. Now, the only downside to doing that is that 1 less key item means 1 less to 10.
And we've seen quite a few key items, so if there's a Darkness Crystal coming up, the difference between having 9 and 10 key items going up to the moon is a big deal. Now, me being my totally non-observant self, I did not see what Sedon got from the top of the tower, but I'm guessing it's something decent if he's making the walkout instead of resetting. But we'll find the answer soon enough, because our other 2 runners are also in the tower. Now, is Tirasu going to take a play out of Penguinator's book and do a half tower? It's kind of risky with a free fight there, if you ask me. But, okay, he's not. Oh, was it a Drain Spear? Womp womp. And has Sedon not actually turned in Demist yet? Might be doing that right now. Going to find the Sand Ruby. May pick up multiple canes. We'll see about that. Mumuni is deciding to take the plan of taking out the King and Queen before they decide to become conscious. Now, also part of their script, if the King Eblon dies, the Queen Eblon will just leave the very next turn. So one faster thing is if you can burn down the King spot, you can get that done. Now, wow, okay, so Tirasu is deciding to make sure that Porum does not get any experience to use as an anchor to achieve relative agility 1 for the rest of his party. I don't know if you needed to nuke the poor girl to do that. That definitely got the job done. Sedon is also turning in Shima 1. It's going to find the defense sword. We're kind of running out of things to check now, other than the element spot and whatever the cannon room has. And Sedon may have actually hit all those checks already. Oh, that's right. We have Tower of Zot. Thank you. Alright, so Sedon is going to give us our first look at what the Pinktail... Oh no, he didn't. He actually brought one over there with the Falcon. So it's probably just wrapping up some shopping. And Tirasu, utilizing the Save Scum tech, gets the Drain Spear and then just resets out to the floor right before the cannon room. Saves a little bit of time. The downside is if you wipe, you have to go an extra 3 or 4 floors. But since you knew that first fight was free, this was the smarter play. And Tirasu and Mumuni might have synchronous towers here. Finding Milon and friends, one quick quake will do the job. Tirasu trying to save a little bit of time by using Virus, but that didn't quite get the job done. The spot has about 700 HP, but most of it is funneled into Milon, so doing 500 across the board didn't quite get it, so that's going to save about 10 seconds on Mumuni's side. Okay, so Sedon hadn't done Baron Key yet, is going to get his first taste of the Wyvern. And now Tirasu and Mumuni are going to show us what is in the tower key. And if it's not a Darkness Crystal, then it's going to come down to deciding to take on that element spot or heading to Tower of Zot. I kind of feel like Zot might be what the runners decide to go. Oh, GM could be mentioning that trying to avoid Porum getting experience. If you use Virus, then you're intentionally leaving that there so you can get her down. That makes sense. Alright, so let me get my trusty little post-it here. Tower key. When you pen on this has to work 25% of the time. And we get, come on, a pen. Excellent find here. That will be 2 more, 3 if you haven't checked Sheila 1 already. Which you're going to see both of them go immediately turn in that pen. Now that could be bad news for Sedon, who did the keyless tower and may not be motivated to return to the Tower of Bevel until way late in his priority list. So let's see, that might put him a little bit behind. But if this doesn't pay out to progression, that will get him a pretty good advantage. And so much for it not having progression. We have the Adamant from the Sylphs. So now the only thing we're missing for Go Mode is a Darkness Crystal or a Pass. And Moody's going to make sure not to forget to forge, doing that right now. Tirasu probably hot on his tail. Now I can't say for sure, but I would imagine just given the amount of key items we found since going underground, we're probably at 10. Whether or not the runners decide to, if we find the Darkness Crystal, there will be a decision of do you want to just smash eggs or do the Gold Dragon fight. If we find the Pass, then we're going to see a whole lot of egg smushing. So on Sedon's side, what we're hoping is that he does not find the Darkness Crystal and then decide to go to the moon, because that will be the biggest of baits. Because as we now know, moon is not required whatsoever. Which is surprisingly nice for a HOPEN seed. Tirasu gonna see what the, oh boy. Alright, so that's actually good news for Sedon. We'll get to that in a second. But Tirasu finds the white shirt. If you still have your Porum, that's your best armor. But it looks like Tirasu is using Porum strictly to floor tank, in which case that's going to go on Fu, and it's going to be fantastic. Now, finding the Darkness Crystal at Sheila 2 is actually terrific for Sedon, because it means he's not going to find any other progression until he gets to that tower key. Now, where he could get burned is if he decides to do the Leviathan spot first, and that has Harp and or Luca key, which are the transitional items that we have left. But because we know Darkness Crystal is behind Sheila 2, and you can't get Sheila 2 without getting the Sylph Cave, he's guaranteed to see Adamant before seeing Darkness Crystal, which is good for Sedon. It's still going to be a little bit behind, but getting the tower, let's see, he's going to get the tower key after finishing this Baron fight. Is going to find the Wyvern here, so let's see how he handles it. Dragoon Ball, that's not that bad. And Moomuri is heading to the moon. I'm guessing he might need... Okay, I was just going to say, I don't know if we've seen... Okay, I see 10 Sirens in Sedon's inventory. The Sirens have been available somewhere. And Moomuri is going to choose to go with the egg route.
I think it looks like our best chance to one-hit him is probably going to be a spell from Fu up until about 4 or 5 of them, at which point, well, maybe a little less than that, at which point either Kane's Jump or Yang's Power is probably going to do deed. Let's see, does he get a start? He got a Star Battle off. Very good for Sedon. So that's Wyvern Fight's done. Now, what Tirasu might decide to do is A, see who the character is first, and B, if it is the character that's someone you might want to slingshot, it might be a little. I don't know if it would be more efficient, but it would be tempting to, if you got 10 key items, that Gold Dragon fight is going to give 180k. You multiply that by 3, it's 540k. It's going to put in one fight any slingshotted character up in the mid-40s. We have a Cecil, so if you want to drop your one Cecil for another, that is one way to get that done. Mooney's just deciding to go with the egg route. Our runners have picked up plenty of Coffins. We do see, looks like Kane was dropped. And yeah, so I think Tirasu is going to utilize the slingshot, put the defense sword on this Kane for now, or on this Cecil for now. And Cecil number 2, who is at level 1, will be level 45 after one Gold Dragon fight. So we'll actually, because we saw Tirasu and Mumuni forge and start their grind at around the same time, we're actually going to get a pretty nice juxtaposition here of how the two different grind methods tend to match up. Now, one thing Tirasu is saving by deciding to do Gold Dragon fights, because they give so much more experience. If you have 10 Sirens, that's, quite frankly, if you have 6 Sirens, that's going to be enough. You're not going to have to go back and refuel Sirens. And they can be kind of expensive. And I don't know if we've seen Bakai yet. And this is going to almost certainly be a Zerk heavy fight. Now, we've got 2 Zerk casters, so Bakai aren't as big a deal. But since we don't have a Rosa, you never know, you could get bit by the Big Bang Bug. Some alliteration there. And you could be scrambling just to keep your HP up. Especially when we get to the 9-hitter Big Bangs, and then you might not have the time to cast Zerk. And it's going to slow down your fight quite a bit. Tirasu making the walk. Sedon is going decided to check the Odin spot. Totally understandable. Unfortunately, it is not going to give him what he wants. Just a Spoon Dagger. And he's looks like trying to off one of the characters. This is one of the reasons why, for this fight in particular, is why you'll see a lot of runners tend to buy about 4 or 5 Kamikazes each time you see them. 1 for this fight, and 2 for the Twin Heart, trying to get rid of the whole Dark Elf casting all those spells in the party. Can save a little bit of time. That is, if you're not like me and fumbling around your inventory, spending 20 seconds selecting a Kamikaze. Alright, so he's going to utilize, Tirasu's going to utilize the weak spell, and you're going to see just how much experience this can get and how many levels. I think it's going to be 45 for Cecil. And you're also going to get a slingshot. Okay, so what I did not notice at the time was that Forum was also pretty low on levels, and yeah, that got Cecil to 45. So that was a slingshot on Porum, which is super useful because, as any of us who have tried to utilize Porum in a Z fight know, her HP is nothing to sneeze at. But if she's got 5 better levels than everybody else, all of a sudden Porum's HP count becomes a little more tolerable. Now, chat's pointing out one of the things about grinding is deciding when it is you decide to stop. Now, if we picked up the white shirt from, I don't remember. I thought I wrote that down. There was a white shirt. If you have a white shirt and you have that on Fu, along with the diamond ring, probably fine on 2000, but not entirely. So that was pink tail. That's right. Thanks, Hubert. So I kind of understand at the same time, like that, if you're relying on Porum to do your healing, it can be dicey. But getting Porum, the standard one is to get her to the white spell, or Palom to nuke. But I understand wanting to get Porum's HP count up to something a little more manageable. Let's see. Give you a quick rundown of this seed. This was a hook required. 2 bosses were, I don't remember the King Queen Evelyn spot. Wasn't that difficult. With the Dark Imps as the Ruby boss. Legend Sword was at Bool, and Adamant was at Tower Key. Tower Key came from Baron. The Tower bosses were a free King Queen Evelyn fight, and Milan and friends at the Tower. The most trolly thing you've seen this much was, oh yeah, that's right, D-Mist was at King Queen Avalon, who had, D-Mist had a Sand Ruby, which was another Kane. Was that, once again, we had Wyvern at the Baron King spot. Again. So, the good news is, Darkness Crystal was from Sheila 2, and Adamant was from the Sylphs, so there was no way our runners were going to see Darkness Crystal before getting both Adamant and Legend Sword, which is possibly the nicest thing a seed can do for you. So Tirasu is more or less utilizing the slingshot of Forum, but is not getting Forum up to around 2k. So Tirasu's got a little bit of an edge here. Is going to go into the Z fight probably about 5 minutes sooner. So let's see. Does Tirasu have Starveils? It's going to be kind of or not Starveils, Buckeye. If not, like it doesn't make the fight that much more difficult. It would just make it longer. Other than that, the real question is going to be how the Big Bang rolls are going to hit Fu. And I forgot to ask, whose kick are we going to butt tonight? Who the Z flag is? It is Boomus. Definitely a solid flag. Solid sprite. And let's see, does Sedon head to the tower, back to the tower after getting... And looks like Porum ate that counter nuke, so your backup healing, I don't think you're going to see him life her up. Did you? Okay, so I did see a Buckeye. Is he going to bring her back up? Okay, so Tirasu looks like is going with a more hybrid strat, going to take advantage of Fu's nuke. This can be a little tougher because Fu's MP pool is not terribly high, so you're gonna, if he's also going to be chucking Cure 4s at 40 MP a spot, that could get dicey. We see Sedon is heading back into the tower. So he will get his pan, which will lead to Adamant and Darkness Crystal. Alright, so Big Bang 2 is coming up. Now, one wipe does kind of even things out here. I'm trying to pay attention to see if he's got like some kind of MP tool. And +1 for Booze Butt. I love it. Alright, so Fu survived that Big Bang. Now Fu's willpower not super high, but a Cure 4 on 4 people should be enough to top everybody off. But we'll see, because if it doesn't, then you run the risk of eating a Big Bang. Yeah, only 1,000 HP. He's going to need to get a second one off, and while that's not going to be too much of an issue, I think. Okay, he's just gonna chuck a Cure 3 at him. That works too. MP for Fu is gonna be a problem pretty soon. He's got one turn with form. He decides to chuck that at. Oh, she's not even gonna get the chance. All right. Let's see. Does he survive? Oh no! Fluid. Fu did not survive. Now, if you got enough Cure 3s, you can always have Chemist Yang and then just hold A. But that's going to be slow, and Mumuni, who took the extra time to get some more levels, that could pay off right here and right now. Peasant, you're not entirely wrong. Alright, so, he's not having right. Taking care of some. Oh, equip that stat stick, yep. And Tirasu does take a wipe. So now Mumuni has vaulted back into the lead. That was one of those where you kind of. I think his plan was Porm to not get counter nuked so she could at least heal the first one. And I guess that does lend the question, what was the fastest time? Because this, like, if it hits and our runners end up like around 130, sub 130, that's going to be a really fast time. Sedon is about to get his Adamant. Yeah, well, you know, Peasants only gets hook seed or jet seeds for himself. I'm sure I had the slowest win. At the risk of digressing a little bit too much, I was fortunate enough that all of us went to the moon and it was completely bait. Alright. So take 2 for Tirasu. That rhymes. Let's see how I hit. Alright, so now his Porm's got about just under 2k. So if you turn in the whites, turn in the Pinktail for a white shirt. Now, actually, now that I think about the Pinktail, I think Sedon is the only one who did that. Now, it would still take a couple Z wipes to catch up, but man, having that white shirt on Fu or Porm would be really nice right about now. And in this case, like, it might be the difference between wiping them, because the big band that took out Tirasu's mop was 1992. So white spear, white shirt probably makes that manageable. Now, I don't think Moomuni has Bokkai, so that was probably another motivation for getting Porum up to the point of surviving, hopefully, Big Bangs, and is going to reflect some whites. Why not? Nice 7k damage. Alright, moment of truth here for Moomuni's seed. Now, he did use, like Blueberry mentioned, he did use Wall instead of a Starveil, and walls have a tendency to disappear faster than you would like unless they're evil. Alright, so the nuke survived. Now, on the other hand, it could actually be, okay, he didn't, he got a phase change. We saw a shape without a big bang, so we know we've done about 40k damage here. Tirasu gets past his first nerf big bang, setting up Zerk. And using Cure 3s to fill out the rest, hoping that Porum actually survives. At 1500, I don't know. Deciding to go with attempting to nerf the Big Bang was slow. I respect that. And with a lot of, even in the Highway to the Zema Zone you've seen, and I think Simbu's actually made a video on this or something. One common strategy with Porum is to get her to Cure 4, then just rely on nerfing each one. But it doesn't look like that one was nerfed, so ouchies were taken. Now Fu's got 21k HP, so not too big a deal. But Fu's, as we saw on Tirasu's run earlier, only 1k damage. Now we've been in the second phase for a while, and we didn't eat a lot of black holes, so rocks could be falling pretty soon. May not even take the time to get Porum up. Oh, is going to use a life too. Okay. Don't hit Fu. Okay, so the phase 2 nuke hits. He does survive it. Now, use that Cure 3. Yeah, he's going to use the Cure 3 on Kane. I dig. Tirasu resumed the strategy of bouncing nukes while he got him. MP will still be a concern. And there's a black hole. So yeah, that's one thing about, do you decide to scour for Bokkai? Because it's not a big deal in for the first or second Big Bang, but when you get to the third or fourth and you're kind of scrounging to recover after Big Bangs, having those Bokkai to just continuously put out damage and be able to tell yourself, okay, I just have to survive. Yang will get the job done for me. It's, if nothing else, it's peace of mind. And the counter nuke hits Porum, rip her. Okay, we got rocks. Just don't hit Fu. Okay. So we should see a finish pretty soon. Oh, but Fu doesn't have MP. Oh, please have Cure 3s. Doesn't have Cure 3s. Oh, alright. I still think he's okay. I think bottom Yang, sunglasses Yang should be able to finish him off with 2 powers and a jump. Oh yeah, you're fine. Alright, Moomuni, he gets that done. Oh, Moomuni ends up being the IRC channel. But first place, time of, I don't have an official SRL time. As soon as he hops in and .duns, that will be time of 1:29. I'm going to say around 40 seconds. Well done. That is a superlative time. looks like Tirasu's run is going much better. Deciding to use Crystal as your nerfing tool. Well, counter nuke does hit Porum. That's kind of a bummer, but we got Cure 3s for days. Didn't get the Cure 3 off before the Big Bang though. As long as we don't go over 2k on Fu, I think we're fine. Oh, you had a successful nerf. Even better. Alright, so really as long as Fu survives, we're okay. They have to take the time to refill some MP. Sedon heading down to the moon. And Tirasu has pretty much nailed every nerf, which is not easy, especially if you're not utilizing like a low anchor and having RA1. But Boomus is being exceptionally smart with his nuking and does take out Fu. Gonna res Porum? Oh, he's gonna res Porum and Fu. Okay. They should both be able to get a Cure 4 in time. But man, Skynet Boomus is self-aware. Alright, so you decide to get a Cure 3 on Fu just in case. But Porum should get this Cure 4 off. That'll top everybody not named Porum. And let me find this. So far so good. Message. And alright, so that Big Bang wasn't too bad. Oh, there he goes. Alright, so his SRL time was 133, but his actual time was 129. And it just like this is one example of alright, so we got rocks. Porum's probably not going to survive that, but Fu doesn't even get hit, and he's got enough. He's just going to do a face nuke. And success. All right. So Tirasu coming in second place with an SRL time of 1:34.20, and Sedon should not be that far behind. It looks like he's taking on some gold dragons, just getting them levels up. It does not have a Porum, so it's going to rely on Fu. But if you pick up Bokkai, we're going to see 4 Zerkers. It's going to be a very fast C fight. So, not sure if he knows about that you can cast weak on the gold red, or he might not have MP. But that's one that you'll watch other runners and pick up on your next one, so it's all good. I also learned how to hourglass Alright, so let's see, do we have any other HOPEN matches scheduled? That's right. Break things on my desk. Eventually I can pull this up. I know I have it somewhere. There we go, Humming Whales. It looks like this is the last match that's scheduled for round 1. So that's 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So that would be match 17. I think you're at 51. 17 times 4 is math. We had 17 times 4 racers. 68. I knew that. So 68 participants. That's pretty awesome. And so I believe the way it's going to work is most of the first place runners are going to get matched up against each other or someone who came in second place, and vice versa. But I believe this will conclude round 1, and looking forward to see how round 2 goes. I didn't get the life glitch off in time. Even without the life glitch, 120k XP is pretty amazing. And now without a Porum to worry about not surviving the Big Bang as he is wont to do, you may see Sedon going in a little lower levels than everybody else. Because it's going to come down to, whether or not this crew survives Big Bangs. And this will just not gain HP terribly quickly. Not too much to talk about while he's grinding. How was your day today? Oh, it was just fine. Bird, what do you have to say? I agree.
GG Tirasu. That was you caught a couple of tough breaks on the counter nukes, but your nerfing was on point. But that was as far as HOPEN seeds go, that was probably one of the slightly more gentle seeds I think you guys have gotten. Had that been a more difficult hook boss, and then Demist having the magma key, that would have been a riot. But Wyvern gave us some entertainment. Alright, so we'll see what level Sedon decides to feel comfortable going in at. Seeing a first and a second place dot done might just be playing it safe. I did think there was going to be a chance that we would see a D machine, but man, the seed was, like, other than, you know, the Legend Sword, seed was pretty stingy with key items, at least on Earth. But yes, anybody looking to see how to efficiently and effectively do Big Bang nerfs, this is definitely a good fight to watch. And, you know, he actually might be grinding up to trying to get 28 agility on Yang. One of the benefits about having Yang is he hits 28 agility, which is kind of the magic number when going into the Z fight. The reasoning for that is because when it calculates your agility, as I mentioned earlier, it gives you a number we call relative agility, which is essentially how many ticks it takes for the ATB gauge to go before you get a turn. And so 1 being the fastest, 2 would be next, and 3, 4, so on and so forth. But the game, when it calculates what your relative agility is, because it's doing, you know, division, it's going to be a decimal point. But it always rounds down. So having a 1.9 and a 1.0 just means relative agility 1 for Zeramis each time. But with that 1.9, your own characters may also be a little slower. So that's why if you go in there with like a 27 agility, Zeramis is just going to seem super fast compared to your team. So in figuring out what the ideal agilities are for Zeramis, it is multiples of 14 where he actually goes on to the next relative agility. So at 28, that's one of the triggers. So you want to have 28 relative agility. And one nice part about Yang is he hits 28 agility at level 51, which is kind of right in that sweet spot of where people tend to level. I was a little slow on that. Oh, wrong button. I'm silly. There we go. So, Sedon is going to discover whose butt are we going to kick. Zeramis will not stand the ghost of a chance. Yeah, I'm kind of full of them. Alright, so in we go. I assume we're gonna see a anchor, also known as a yanker. Yeah, there we go. So that was the leveling up reason, was getting Yang up to 28 agility. Sometimes a cat claw or a charm claw or a ninja hat can expedite that a little bit. Now, did Sedon take the time to find some Buckeye? Because with 4 Zerkers, that's going to save quite a bit of time. And we will find out shortly. I'll be trying to time the Silk Web. That might be a little too early. Yeah. Oh, 22 Buckeye. Okay. So is that gonna lose a turn by not having a Silk Web go off? Who will probably do it? Alright, so we got 3 Buckeye. So really, the suspense here is going to be, does Fu survive every Big Bang? And oh no, that is not a good start. The first Big Bang, if unnerfed, is a 9-hitter. And with our other 3 users Buckeye, this might be a wipe. Let's see. The Yanks might survive it and then get to a black hole. But failing that, a Cure 3 on Kane would probably be advised. So gonna life Fu, hope that Fu gets a chance to get a Cure 4 after they fit. Oh, this may actually work out if Kane survives this. For 1500 HP, it's a little tough. If Kane goes down, the other 2 Yangs do survive. We will see a black hole first, but it's just gonna reset it. So that was really the kicker there, was just doing the Silk Web a little too early, and that did not trigger the nerf. It should not have a problem the second time. I think we'll get it. Alright, I'm gonna head back in, give it a second try. Now with this and the league match today, I believe that does it for round 1 matches in both the Xenozone and the Hemingway Open. So the next 2 matches you'll see will most likely be the play in and play out matches for to get into the round of 16. We don't have official numbers yet, but the 17th through 20th place finishers in the league will run a race, and whoever comes in first will advance. Now, as of right now on the standings, that is Dragus, Chocosura, Penguinator, and Mechalink, which, woo, that's going to be a beastly, that's going to be a pretty beastly race. But that is, pending a few, pending some checks. The admins are going to go over and make sure everything's cool. And then the 13th through 16th will have a race, and whoever comes in 4th is actually eliminated. That will have, tentatively, Night Dew, Pizza, Swimmy, and myself. But I know Error and Swimmy both have equal strength of schedule, equal first place finishers, and I don't think they actually race each other. So air could be in that. Is there a second audio source going? Do I have a second audio thing? I shouldn't. Oh, it might just be echo from me. So let me fix that. There, that should be better. Yeah, you're right. Alright, so this time, looks like Nerf was successful. Tier 3 top off. Plenty of block eyes, so we see a whole lot of punching, a whole lot of sword hitting. He's gonna go with jump on Kane. At this point, yeah, just wait for the big bang. Now it's doubly nice to have Kane for a jump, just because, in case Fu gets hit with like another 2200 big bang, hey, Kane survived. So having one like safety is a very good idea. Alright, so far so good. That was big bang number 2. If we haven't gotten a phase change already, we're going to get one here. If we don't see a black hole right away, or if we don't see a black hole at all, we see a shake first, we'll kind of know that's how that happens. It looks like phase change happened here. Yeah, okay, so we did get a phase change in between. Using Cure 3 just to mostly top off Fu, really. And is going to try to jump the Big Bang, which, if successful, that will be 2 jumps in a row, and rather exquisite timing, if you ask me. Let's see, does he stay in the sky long enough to avoid, you know, another creation attack? He does. That is really slick. Not gonna lie, that is some exceptional timing there. And you can also see why Sedon decided to use Cure 3 to top off Fu. That may have actually just saved Fu's life. And as an added bonus, you can target not Kane with the Cure 4 when he's in the air, so you see he actually did 1700 HP healing. And we got rocks already. This is academic, and congratulations, Sedon. The SRL time of 1 hour 53 minutes and 22 seconds. So, looks like that will be that. And